What up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk, the channel where we discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So today's episode, I'm going to discuss the reason why you are broke. So first and foremost, thank you once again for my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. My bad for not being up here for a couple of days. It's been almost like a week now almost. Just been busy trying to push through with these videos and deal with life, my family, things of that nature. So definitely gonna try to come up here a lot more, push more content out there, because I definitely have a lot of ideas for content that I think is gonna be very, very beneficial to my subscribers and anybody else that wants to view my videos. So let's get into it. So the reason why you're broke. So for the most part, is because you choose to be broke. And what I mean by that, what I mean is that life is full of choices, whether it be good or bad. It just is what it is. I mean, life is just full of choices. And I say that you choose to be broke because there's been probably a lot of decisions you've made in your life that have put you in a position to where you're broke. Let's just say that you don't have a certain skill set that may make you a lot of money, so you are kind of forced to be in a job that doesn't make a lot of money. Okay, I'm not going to name off any type of job that doesn't make a lot of money, because at the end of the day, money is money. Everybody has a role to play when it comes to the job market, and at the end of the day, there are a lot of folks that are not in position to get these particular jobs to make a lot of money. But for the most part, that's by choice, because let's just say, let me put myself in the mix for instance. Okay, so I was born and raised in the projects, right? Didn't have a lot of money. We were poor. We were definitely below the poverty line. My mom was getting welfare, food stamps. My grandmother was getting SSI by that time, because she was of age to receive SSI. I think she was getting something else as well. I think she was getting food stamps. But we was in some project slums. Roaches, rats, dirty outside, trash on the ground, you name it. I mean, it was a slum. And fast forward to today, I have a pretty nice sized house with a wife and 3 kids, and just living life. I mean, I make a good living for myself, maybe to sustain myself and my family, based off of the decisions I made. So I'm not going to say I'm rich, but I'm not broke. I live comfortably, and my family lives comfortably. But that's because of choice. When I went to college and I saw that college wasn't working out for me at the time, between the ages of 18 and 20, I said, well, I need to get up out of these projects. So I decided to join the military. And let's see, about 25 years later, I'm still sustaining myself, and I'm sustaining my family. But that was by choice. That was by choice that I chose to do that. Now, I could have chose not to leave the projects and stay there and try to work it out for myself, but I knew from my early age that was not going to happen. Me being in the project was not going to work for me. And I'm not saying anything bad about anybody that lives in slums, lives in the projects. I'm not saying anything bad about you guys at all. Okay, fate hands us the life that we have. And it's our decisions whether we change that position we're in or not. This is what it is. And let me go back a little bit. So for the most part, I'm addressing this to guys. Now, if there are any women watching this video, then of course, there may be some jewels or some things I say on this video that may benefit you, especially if you're a single parent. But for the most part, I'm talking to guys, because men and women are different. I have a daughter, right? And for the most part, I'm not saying that I want to have my daughter live with me for the rest of my life. I'm not saying it at all. But what I will say is that if my daughter's not married, she can stay home as long as she wants to, because at the end of the day, she's a woman. And I am going to push college on her, but that's going to be her decision. But women need to be taken care of. They need to be protected, right? So if my wife is not married and she doesn't have a man in her life that's going to protect her and provide for her, then guess what? Her dad is going to be there to do those things. And in order for her to live comfortably, if she wants to live in my house, and so be it. My two boys are not going to have that option. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to choose to make sure that they get pushed out the house and make something for themselves, because guys need to provide for themselves. They need to do that, but that's by choice. So getting back to why you broke, why you're broke. You know, nobody told you to go out there and get a whole bunch of credit cards and max them out, and now you can't pay them off anymore. Right? Nobody told you to run the streets, get locked up, come out, and then you don't have the skill sets, you know, for you to even get a job. You got a record that's so bad that you can't even secure a good job. You got to do under the table type stuff. Right? I'm going to go even far as saying that if you lost your job, it's still your choice if you're unemployed, because guess what? If you push your best foot forward and you keep pushing, eventually you're gonna either get a job, or you're gonna put yourself in a position to where you can actually start making money for yourself and be an entrepreneur or a sole proprietor, whatever the case may be, right? But at the end of the day, being broke is by choice. When you see millionaires and billionaires, or even folks that that make $500,000 a year, these folks made a choice in order to get the education they need in order to be successful when it comes to finances. I know there are some situations to where folks are born into money. I got that, but here's the thing with that. If they don't take the lessons and the skill set that their parents or whoever in their family that has made them rich, if they haven't taken those attributes on and applied those things, they're gonna go broke pretty quick. I've heard some celebrities that say that they're not going to give their kids a penny of their wealth. They have to build wealth for themselves. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Now, will I say I would do that to the same? Would I do that? Would I do the same? Would I do that to my kids? There's no edits here. I don't edit videos. And when I scale, I start editing videos, right? But will I do that to my kids? Probably not. Will I give them like all of my wealth and like distribute it? I mean, yeah, if I passed away, now of course it gets split four ways, my wife and my 3 kids. Or I just give it to my wife and just and let her decide who gets what. But at the end of the day, I am going to provide a little something for them to start off with. But am I going to be a bank for them and bail them out all the time? No, I'm not going to do that. So it goes down to to choice. I give them a little bit of money to start off, right? Because I'm gonna be real, as black people, we don't have a lot of provisions that we can give our kids for the most part. We just don't. I have put myself in a position to where my kids are gonna have a good start in life when they become an adult. But that's not the normal for black folks. You know what I'm saying? It just really isn't. You know what I'm saying? And you can sound controversial when I say that, but that is the truth. We don't have generational wealth in this country. Mostly white people have that, not black people, right? But I have put myself in a position to where I can start a generational wealth thing for my kids, which I'm totally blessed with doing that, But it's going to be their choice whether they decide to stay comfortable or not. I'm not saying that you have to be rich in order not to be broke. There is such thing as living comfortably like I am. I'm not rich, but I'm not broke. But I'm living comfortably because by choice, I have put myself in a position to have made decisions to put myself in this state right now. And if you're broke right now, you need to really take a long look at your life and figure out what choices have I made in order for me to be broke right now. What bad choices have I made? Because at the end of the day, we gotta take accountability, especially when it comes to us being men. We gotta take accountability. I think that sometimes when we get put in a situation to where we're broke, we have tunnel vision as guys, and we start catastrophizing. Look that word up. And we're just like, oh my God, like I don't know what's gonna happen. I need to make money. I don't know what to do and all this other stuff or whatever. Well, you need to, take a step back, take a breather, figure out what was the issue that caused you to lose your job, and then move from there. I'm gonna leave y'all with this little nugget. Then I'm gonna let you go. So to be transparent, at one point I had lost my job. Was unemployed for about 2 months. Probably one of the scariest things that I ever had happen to me in my life. I had some savings, but was it enough for me to float for those 2 months? For the most part, yes. But at the end of the day, I knew that those savings was gonna run out at one point, right? Make a long story short, you know that I was able to pay every single bill on time the whole 2 months I was unemployed, and I was able to tithe and get offered to the church. Now, like I said before in the previous video, I am a Christian. I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. And I prayed, and I kept things together, and I was able to do that. Without having a job for 2 whole months. Now, of course, I was still putting in the work to get a job, but that was by choice. I chose to push and go on interviews and look up jobs on Indeed and Glassdoor and all these other apps and everything, and make sure that I received a job as quickly as possible. But that's all to say that I put my foot forward, and I made a choice to not lay down and catastrophize and be depressed and feel sorry for myself. I don't got time for that. My family don't got time for that. My family don't got time for me to make a choice to be depressed. I choose not to be depressed. I choose not to be broke. That's a choice. I choose not to be broke, y'all, and y'all need to do the same thing. Choose not to be broke. Put your best foot forward, and let's get it. All right? Like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I appreciate all you subscribers, and I'm going to keep pushing this content to give you leverage to better yourselves. Finance, fitness, and folk. Triple F, I'm gone.